probably a friendly competitor called Flowliner, and they wanted to have, they are the nationwide distributor of this Neofit product delivered to them by Wavin from the UK. And they wanted to have a competitor as well distributing this Neofit line, and so they proposed it to us, and we reviewed it, and so here we are today sharing it with you. So what is Neofit? It's a trenchless solution for deteriorated leaking water service pipes. So plumbers, drain cleaners, I mean, you're looking at another way to service a client and to look at gaining more market share in your area. Now we are able to do potable water lines from the house out to the street. Multi-purpose lining system, we use potable waters and pressure pipes. And most commonly used where open cuts really not the answer, and where expensive digs can take place. This is a really cost-effective way of renewing those pipes. Some are doing directional drilling. This is much different than that because we're still using the host pipe. The reasons to rehabilitate: pipes with lead, deteriorated pipes, leaking pipes as well. So how does it work? We use a PET, which I'm going to explain what that is later once we get to it. I probably would be able to botch that word. I've tried to say it 1,000 times. I'm not good at it. But it's a thin wall, very strong. It's a close fit lining system. Provides a protective barrier, and then it's very tight to the old service. Benefits is that it's very easy to install. No resin. So if you ask me how much working time you get at this system, I'm going to tell you, I don't know, how much you want. A couple years? 5 minutes? No, it is a plastic tube that you're going to push through or pull through the pipeline. You don't have to worry about it kicking off before you get it installed. You don't have to worry about inverting it. You don't have to worry about a turn back. These are all neat things about this Neofit system. Can be installed with PVC, copper, lead, steel, galvanized. Again, it's very strong for internal pressures, cost effective, has a long service life. You will increase the flow rate just like we do with the cured in place pipe. Requires minimal working space, which is important, and it can be installed in other types of weather conditions. Minimal excavation and restoration, as there are access points, either 1 or 2 access points need to be created to install this product. And the recirculation unit, which we'll show you at the demo, is self-calibrated, so you don't have to worry about doing anything with that. The non-benefits: cannot negotiate multiple hard bends, so those would have to be removed and you'd have to repipe that area. Installation requires 1 or 2 excavations, usually at the city main or maybe at the V-box by the house. Another non-benefit may be that it's so simple that your technicians get a little tired from doing it, because it's really simple. It's really stress-free. You don't have to worry about it carrying off on you. So again, easy to install. Probably 2 technicians can install 2 or 3 in a day, depending on location, of course. All right. Polyethylene terephthalate, whatever that is.
Terephthalate.
How do you say it?
Terephthalate.
Terephthalate.
C.
Right here. That's the material. It's what? Plastic bottles. So the interactive liner, maximum operating pressures, talking 116 to 362 psi rating. So very high internal pressures to withstand. Ideal for installation for the following: congested ground, under road crossings, alongside other infrastructure, and customer properties like under driveways and expensive gardens and decks and things of that nature. Right now, the system that we are going to show you today, we can install and cure off in 65 feet, anything from 1/2 inch to 2 inch diameter pipes. This system here, they've recently advanced up to offering rehabilitation in lengths up to 300 feet. And in the middle, you need to have an additional steamer to supply that heat as it's recirculating to cure that liner off, or cure that inner tube. So, what are these tubes? The plastic tubes, you've got 7 millimeter, 10 millimeter, so basically a 1/2 inch all the way to 2 inch. It starts off very small, as you push it through the pipe, and then as you add the hot water, then it starts to expand, and then finally cures as a tight-fitting liner. All the temperature readings are on the unit itself as you're doing the install. And then it's just telling us which material you'd want to grab, which tube you want to grab for the diameter of the rehabilitation. So 7 millimeter, you're looking at 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch pipes, and so on and so forth. So again, very close fit, fully structural, and independent repair. It's a tough picture, you really can't see it. I'm sure you saw the samples on the table, but that's the final repair with that. So it's one of those things where you're better off seeing it and you'll have a better understanding of how the process works. So, any questions before we head over to the demo? Perfect. Oh, you got a question, Tim? Go ahead.
How many of them are in the United States?
How many installers in the United States?
I would say like, I don't know, a number of pipe, you know, is it widely used? Is it around for a while? Or?
It's been around for several years, and they're probably domestically, I think I was told there's around 6 or 7 installers. So this is still new to the marketplace, and I think collectively, us both pushing the Neofit, we're gonna see an increase. Yeah, John.
Ballpark for a 3/4 inch size service coming to a house per foot.
Cost per foot
To have it installed.
after it's in. I mean,
With the install.
with install. I had that number. I'll look that up. I don't know that right offhand. I don't want to misquote that.
One thing I'd like to tell you about the Neofit, there's a great opportunity for water quality control, even if the pipe is in good condition, where the pipe is lead. And I know there's a lot of cities, I can tell you that our small town here, Ottawa, that most of the services from the main to the Buffalo box is lead pipe. I'm a licensed plumber, have been for many, many years. When I started out, it was 50/50 solder, 50 lead, 50 tin. Then it went to 95/5. And of course today, everything has to be lead free. We really shouldn't worry about the paint on the wall. We should worry about what we're drinking. Because, you know, they'll say, oh, turn your faucet on, let it run for a while. I personally only put the glass under the faucet. I trust in Culligan a little more, right? But the point is, there's a great opportunity for water quality control, even if the pipe's in good condition, just due to all the lead pipe out there. I don't know if anybody, you know, like a town like Chicago, a city like Chicago, you know how much it would cost to go and dig and replace all those lead services? You're talking a lot of money. A lot of money. And then, any of you that's been in the utility business for a long time, you know that half of those Buffalo boxes, you can't get a key on them. And even if you can, you're afraid to even turn them. Some just won't turn. And if you turn hard enough, water's boiling out of the ground. So if you do an excavation and you can replace that box, you can go into the house, the basement, drop the meter and push out. And if you're going to go to the main, that's another location. But you can really minimize the excavation. And just like all trenches technology, the porches, Mrs. Jones, Rose Garden, or whatever. So this is another technology. This is going to dovetail the service line into the main line we're trying to put together on the potable water side. So.
Prep work, any required prep work on the service line before you put it in?
Yeah, you need to clean up the one, and then you got to run a pig through there and string the line as well on that.
And definitely more if it was a galvanized, half-inch galvanized pipe. You're going to have the most, you know, corrosion inside of that. And you'll see samples on the table over here. The one guy was telling us, he said, we do a lot of copper. I'm like, I just don't understand that as a plumber. Why would you have a lot of copper you need to be fixing? And they said, well, actually, they found this whole subdivision, which I'm sure that same manufacturer hit some other subdivisions, but they said the copper was actually defective. Whatever was wrong, but they had a lot of leaks. And so they were able to slave them all. And of course, you know, you find out that something's always defective when the asphalt's just been laid. Right? So.
The processing of the polyethylene is done with heat or is it mechanically?
It's expanded through hot water,
Okay, so
recirculating hot water.
okay, but is there a fraction of expansion associated with that? But the polyethylene is whole expansion, right?
Yeah, there's no pig going through, like, I know what you're referring to. Yeah, there's no PET or anything. It's not a polyethylene, it's a PET.
Okay.
So it's the hybrid.
Okay, it's got a little bit of expansion factor in it.
You know, one of the things that amazed me, if you look at the samples over here, there's samples that are in polyethylene tubing, copper, and PVC, inch and a half PVC pipe. You would think there's an adhesive in there. There's no adhesive at all, but grab one and try to get it out. I'm shocked, even a short little piece. You know how slick PVC is, or even polyethylene rolled tubing? You think you could get it out. Pretty darn tight. So since it's knotted here, even though it's tight, if water gets behind it, you're going to have a problem. The water's going to equalize on the outside and the inside, you have a problem. So you have to ensure that each end is sealed, and that's the key to this process.